Wairimu Muthike, you are the head of business development for ACRE. That is the Agriculture and Climate Risk Enterprise, which is based in Nairobi. You've just won this award, HEC-OCP Prize 2018, and that is for the Agtech Startup in Africa of the Year. Your feelings about this prize?
We at ACRE Africa are very excited and we are very appreciative of this recognition. Having transitioned from a project called Kilimo Salama, meaning safe agriculture, to a for-profit social enterprise to ensure the sustainability of the work that we are doing within the smallholder communities, offering them crop insurance, this marks a good feeling, a good recognition from the international community, showing that there is true value in the work that we are doing within the continent.
Let's just take a step back, Wairimu. If you could just describe what ACRE Africa aims to do, which is, I believe, to shield farmers in the East African region against unpredictable weather through insurance. Could you take us through the process?
The first thing we do is we are very demand-centered. So one of the main things is looking for where is the demand for crop insurance, looking at the aggregators within the agriculture value chain. So these could be off-takers of produce. These are individuals who are supporting farmers to produce for the market. So this could be individuals who are processing the product or bulking the product for a bigger processor, looking at seed or input providers within the market, financial institutions that are serving the agriculture community, and the insurance companies themselves. So it's about looking for the demand for agriculture insurance products. Once you understand and recognize where the demand is, it is very important to sit down and understand what kind of products they are looking for. What is their motivation around getting an insurance product? Is it that they're looking for an agriculture insurance product to motivate their farmers to consistently produce quality and enough quantity of the product, be it potatoes, maize, beans that are required? Or is it a financial institution looking to incentivize the farmers to be less risky as they are borrowing against agriculture inputs? Or is it an insurance company that is trying to promote the agriculture insurance package that they are trying to put together? Or a loyalty program? Or even a company trying to understand who is their end user? How can they create a loyalty program with a value add-on to those clients? Once you're able to understand that, then you take the agronomic aspect of the product. So what we do is an agriculture insurance product, not just a weather insurance, because we go further and understand the agronomy of the product. This is understanding what are the moisture requirements, what are the stress factors for this crop. Then this information is relayed to an actuarial team. Now the actuarial team we have, they are awesome, they are great. But what makes them special is the fact that they interact with agronomists, they interact with people who talk to farmers. So when you're talking to a farmer, you're not using jargon. You want to be as simple as possible to get rich information, accurate information. This information is then relayed to an actuary who is able to formulate an index. The products we offer are index-based primarily. Index-based products have enabled the simplification or the accessibility of agriculture insurance to smallholder farmers who traditionally would not have been able to access this agriculture insurance, because the traditional agriculture insurance requires a lot of monitoring on the ground, and the premiums, that's the cost of insurance, would never be covered by the premiums that the farmers are able to pay. So once we're able to sit down with the actuary, the product is then presented to both the underwriter, a local underwriter, and a reinsurance company. These are the people who would be taking on the risk and need to understand how it has been crafted and the factors behind that. From there, it's a matter of creating awareness within the market you have created the product for. So it is liaising with the aggregator, be it the agribusiness, the insurance company, to create that awareness campaign so that the farmers can be able to transition from awareness to true knowledge of the product they are picking up. This traditionally takes a couple of seasons because, let's face it, even ourselves, when you take up an insurance product, you don't fully understand its implication until you have interacted with it for a number of seasons or times.
Wairimu Muthike, how does a farmer adapt his or her realities to the technology and to the cost that such an operation has, and how do you facilitate their approach?
One of the things that we learned very early on, this is in 2011, 2012, is that you have individual farmers who are in the, for instance, let's say the western part of Kenya, no, the eastern part of Kenya, where the season can actually start off. When I say the season, the rains come in, the farmers plant, and then once they plant, the rains disappear, and there hasn't been enough moisture on the soil to facilitate a true germination or the coming out of the true leaves, so to enable the crop to move to the next phase, which is vegetation. Now, this farmer has to make a choice between using kept seed from the granary or removing more money from his or her savings and going and buying another pack of improved seed. So we have to be realistic when we are introducing technology as simple as improved seed to this farmer. The reality is that it costs more for this farmer, and there isn't a true safety net if there is erratic rains, where the rains start and they stop, or there's a drought incidence. Now, one of the products we came up with, which has acted as a very good introductory product to the farming communities, is called a replanting guarantee product. This is where a farmer can walk into the agrovet shop and buy seed, improved seed, which inside they will find a voucher with a unique code. Once they are able, on their very basic feature phone, input the code and send it then to us and the underwriter, this is the insurance company, the farmer is able to get insurance cover. And in the event that the rains are not enough to sustain a good germination of the crop, they're able to go back, get compensated, and get another bag of seed. This ensures that this farmer will continuously use improved seed as opposed to going back to using kept seed. Improved seed has been shown to give a better production at the end. This is a very good improvement to the situation that the farmer was in before.
The communication is done through a smartphone, I believe, and that probably not only is very realistic in terms of Kenya's fantastic growth in the phone, the mobile telephone industry, but also it answers another reality, and very often a farmer does not have the luxury of having gone through the secondary school education, and there are problems of illiteracy. How do you address that? Where does the smartphone intervene?
Okay, so we have been able to invest through partnerships, looking at the phone ergonomy, looking at how does a farmer interact with their phone? What is the simplest way of doing this? So our instructions are picture-based. They are very friendly from the card itself, from the instructions. It's just 3 steps which are depicted in a picture form, which is buy the bag, enter the code, send the code. Full stop. Not a lot of words, but just making it as visual as possible. Now, one of the things we have noticed is that farmers who have interacted with this introductory product are now asking for more vibrant or more inclusive products, where they're asking, this product only covers the 21 days that are required for germination, for instance, for a crop like maize within that region. And so this farmer is asking, what about the rest of the season? Can I get a cover? And that is the true mark of growth within a product. The product is evolving. And this is where now, as ACRE Africa, we're looking at introducing, in a very similar format, the card with the visuals, using the mobile phone, a full season cover that the farmer can buy from their local agrovet throughout the season. This unlocks a big challenge we currently are having. When I'm asking the farmer to buy insurance, it's the same time they are required to be buying inputs. The same time, if you look at the calendar, they have such responsibilities as children going back to school. So it's a matter of you giving the farmer a very hard choice, insurance versus paying school fees. Well, school fees is always going to win. So giving them the opportunity throughout the year to save up or to build up the reserves that they have on their phone, and come the time of planting, they can be able to easily purchase the insurance at one go through their phone, and we are able to get their geolocation. We are able to offer them the insurance product at the comfort of their farm.
The seed of this idea, if you excuse the play on words, comes from Switzerland and this organization called Syngenta Foundation. How did the project evolve so that a European organization adapted itself to the realities in a country like Kenya?
Syngenta Foundation has a presence, or has had a presence, within Kenya, and working through their partnership with East Africa, with Syngenta East Africa, that produces agrochemicals. They had a program targeting farmers within Nanyuki area of Kenya, where they were promoting conservation agriculture and the use of improved seed. Now, one of the things that they quickly noticed is that the farmers who were adopting these improved technologies were also investing more in their farm. They are believing in the story that you're telling them, that I do conservation agriculture, I use improved seed, my productivity is going to get better. But that's in the future. The reality in the meantime is that I'm using more funds. I am diverting more funds to this improvement you're talking about. I'm banking on it. So in the event that the weather lets them down, what safety net is being offered? So Syngenta Foundation, with a program that they were running, started looking for risk mitigation or risk transfer solutions within the country, that is Kenya. But they could not find a company that was offering risk transfer solutions for smallholder farmers. Rightly so, because at that point, only traditional insurance was available. So it was too expensive for the insurance company to get to insure the smallholder farmers. So what Syngenta Foundation for Sustainable Agriculture did is it looked outside the borders, started looking at countries like India, where agriculture insurance had started taking off, trying to understand what are they doing differently. So this is where the idea of introduction of an index-based product, where you're using a proxy, be it a weather station, satellite data, as opposed to actual on-farm visits, were proving to be successful.
But Kenya is not India. The realities are different.
Yes. So yes, Kenya is not like India, but they are quite concrete similarities in that you're talking about smallholder farmers. So it's about taking the best practices from what is working and adapting it to the area that you want it to work in. So looking at what distribution channels are they using, would it work? They're using index. What kind of awareness needed to go into place? What kind of partnerships are pivotal in making it work? In India, the involvement of the government in making sure the program works is one of the major contributing success factors. So that had to be transferred to the Kenyan and to the African context, getting the government involved, not just from a subsidy program, but from an awareness perspective, from a buy-in perspective. So it's understanding what are the best practices, what are the differences, and what can you actually replicate in the country or in the region you want to work in.
ACRE Africa has seen a phenomenal development in the 9 years that it's existed, and that is starting from 185 farmers to something like 1 million in that whole region. It's gone beyond the Kenyan borders to Rwanda and Tanzania. How do your approaches evolve according to the countries that you are trying to help as an intermediary between the farming community and the insurers?
One of the biggest advantages we have had is that there has been a shift in mindset within the regulatory environment, where regulators are becoming more accepting of non-conventional distribution and products. They are looking at increasing the outreach of agriculture insurance. So they are becoming more accommodative to ideas that would traditionally not have been very kosher to them. So that has helped in terms of within the Eastern African communities. There's a lot of knowledge sharing within the regulatory environment. That is very important. The other thing that has really helped is that when you come to organizations that are working across these countries, now I talked about the fact that for you to reach 1 million+ farmers, you need to remove the ego from the organization, where I need to be able to talk to every single farmer. I need to recruit every single farmer. Working through partnerships means you need to share the glory. And that is how you'll be able to reach more farmers, by finding organizations that are working across these regions. Once you're able to interact with them in Kenya, then they are more accepting of you in other regions, be it Rwanda, Tanzania, Uganda. So recognizing that bigger partnerships are required for the growth of the program. So that has really helped in terms of just getting the message out there. And it's not just about selling a product. One of the things that has really propelled our growth is where we are seeing organizations are investing concretely within the field of awareness. They want training programs for their farming communities, and they're willing to invest in them so that you can come up with simple ways, using your experience, what works, what doesn't work, to package training programs that can go before the product is taken up by a farmer. This enables the reduction of misunderstanding between insurance, for instance, and savings. A lot of farmers used to think insurance is saving, and if I don't get to experience the risk, you're going to refund the premiums. But that just simple kind of packaging of training and level of understanding helps to position insurance in products within the communities.
But Rwanda and Tanzania don't have any specificities that you don't see or identify in Kenya?
In terms of specificity, one of the things, and you will pardon my saying, is in Tanzania you find the consumer is very keen. Once they are able to understand and take up your product, then and they believe in it, then you have a client almost for life, because they want quality. In Kenya, you will find the cheapest product wins the day. So it's trying to understand the market and the dynamics of the market. In Rwanda, you will find a lot of farmers are grouped in cooperatives, and this is because of their setting within the countries. So within the cooperative setup, this means that you would have to start at that level, getting the cooperative officials to have the buy-in of the product, understanding the approaches that are required in each country for a successful placement of the product.
Wairimu Muthike, there is a Swahili proverb which says, Bada ya dhiki faraja, which means after hardship comes relief. Where do you see the future in terms of this remarkable project that it has touched so many people in such a short time?
Where I see the growth or the future of crop insurance is where you get more organizations and institutions using crop insurance to increase their client value. Let me give you an example. you find financial institutions are very interested in giving credit facilities to smallholder farmers because they make up 80% of your client base. But they are also termed to be very risky because they are predominantly focused on rain-fed agriculture. Now, I am foreseeing, or I would love to see a situation where the credit institutions, both microfinance institutions and mainstream financial institutions, are using crop insurance as a safety net, both for themselves and for their farmers who are their clients, to offer more credit to this group of individuals. These are smallholder farmers. This would have a ripple effect within the value chains that we're talking about, be it crop, maize, beans, sorghum. Because once you pump in investment or you give access to finance to these farmers, then they're able to adopt the good agriculture practices you're talking to them about. They're able to implement such technology as irrigation on their farm. Now, all this with a safety net that with seasonal variances, because if it's going to affect your productivity because of drought, excess rain, storms, there is an insurance product that comes in to buffer you from that. The farmer is going to be more agreeable to taking up more and more of these technologies that have been researched on by so many research organizations within the countries. That, I feel, would be a very good effect of crop insurance. And to be honest with you, when we started the program, that was our initial thought. Take it to the financial institutions as a tool to increase their penetration of credit lending to these farmers. But the reality was that crop insurance is still very new within the continent. As much as we've done pilots after pilots, as much as you have ACRE Africa touching 1 million+ farmers, it's still considered new. So there is the need, or there still exists the need of creating value for the financial institution so that they can see that it's going to increase their business base. A real business case for them is going to mean an increase in the credit facilities they give to these farmers. And it's going to be the true use of crop insurance products.
At the heart of your organization is this idea of allying technology with partnership. How can business schools like HEC contribute and be a partner for your organization or organizations like you in terms of development of agriculture in Africa?
One of the most important ways is produce future leaders who are non-conventional in their thinking. Bringing a practical nature to their classwork. What do I mean? I mean, when you're looking for internships and you have an interest in working within Africa, then start at that point. Find an internship in Africa. In ACRE Africa, we have started an internship program, and of the 4 interns I have had, 3 of them are from the international community. And I'm confident that if they do end up working within the African context, then they have the appreciation of non-conventional thinking and solutions, where you appreciate the country that you're in, its particular facilitative and constraining factors, and still finding a way of working your solutions. Not a copy-paste, but understanding where you're coming from and how best to trickle down that information and knowledge to a country or in a region that is not as technologically as advanced as where you're coming from. That is very key.
Wairimu Muthike, head of the Business Development Department of ACRE Africa. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. Thank you for having me.